Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming here today. We are honored to be here performing this wonderful piece for you. This is the first movement of Haydn's Trio in C Major, Hoboken 1527. And we are the Setas Trio, and we're coming all the way from Baltimore this morning.
Fantastic. You have wonderful ensemble, the three of you together, really, and lots of joy coming through in the music, which is so wonderful to hear. And you know, Haydn is unfortunately for you one of my obsessions. No, I'm kidding. I worship Haydn's language. Right off the bat, one thing that struck me is, you know, pulse is so important, right? And I always joke, and it's a little overly dramatized, but without a heartbeat, we're dead. Without pulse, the music doesn't really thrive and soar. And I felt like your pulse was changing for too often, and I didn't really understand why. And if there's a compelling reason, of course, I'm all for it. But I felt like your opening until the first fermata was one tempo, and then once you got going with running sextuplets, or that the tempo suddenly slowed down. And so I think the tempo, it's marked Allegro, I think the tempo has to be reflective of all of the content in the movement, all right? So, and just be careful. I love the gesture that you're doing at the beginning, especially on the piano, really beautiful playing. Drum, brum, brum, brum. I felt like each time the top of that was a little precious, and then that gets a little old. Choose a time to be precious, but don't make it every time. So try the opening for me. Okay, now, sorry, this is a small point, but it matters. I feel like with the gesture before you start playing, I feel like I'm about to hear like the second movement of Shostakovich Piano Trio. It's Haydn. Let's start it with joy, not aggression. Thank you. Okay, how bizarre is it that Haydn puts a fermata so close to the beginning of the movement? He loves to do this. His big C major sonata, you play about 12 bars fermata. And I just remember at one point I had the great honor of having a meal with Leon Fleischer, and we were talking about fermatas in Haydn specifically, and he had this great expression. He said, the fermatas in Haydn should be so pregnant that it's only when the baby actually is just coming, then you play. And that was how he thought about the fermatas. But the fermatas should surprise us. We should settle in, we're listening to this wonderfully joyful opening, and then what? The music's stopping. So you have to show that, be more demonstrative. So in other words, don't preempt it. Don't preempt it. Wait, and when the fermata's there, do the fermata. One other tiny little thing, and then I'll move on. Drum, bum, 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 ba da 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 da. Dum, bum, bum, bum. Can the second part of the phrase be responsive to the first part of the phrase? Not the same. Great. Nice. Wait. And please lift all at the same time, yeah? Okay. Then you can go on. Okay, let's stop and nitpick again just because I'm obsessed with this. Every fermata is not created equal, right? And especially when you have a series of fermatas, it's indicative of something. We don't always know what, right? And I feel like in bar 14, you're in the piano, you're playing both these fermatas exactly the same. How could you play them differently? What do you think?
Well, you need the sforzando?
The sforzandi. Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, the first one is major, and it's still happy in the character of what comes before, and the second one can be more dramatic and minor.
So play it like that. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So let's go from bar 12. And by the way, I feel like with this, in the piano part, and this is not so easy how he writes this with these octaves, right? That it feels really careful. Can it feel a little more joyful and carefree? Da 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 dum bum ba da 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 dum. It sounds very da 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 dum dum, right? Nice, nice. Okay, now are you in bar 16? Is it intentional that you're kind of giving away the sforzando in the middle of the bar? Like, is that intentional that you're going to grow into that sforzando, or is that just happening by mistake?
It's intentional.
It's intentional? Well, then can you really convince me of it?
Yeah.
That's fine, but I wasn't convinced. Wait, do they mean that or not?
I see.
Okay. Go from bar 14. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, you're gonna hate me. Why in the middle of 18 are you ignoring the subito piano? In the piano? Do you have a good reason? If you do, please tell me and I'll...
Well, our reason was really the violin part, that it felt very counterintuitive to go like to the...
It is
As a
counterintuitive,
Right.
but are you gonna call up Mr. Haydn and ask him if that's okay?
Probably not.
Sorry. For me, like, I guess I love to discuss points like this because I understand what you mean, but that's not compelling enough for me to say don't do it.
Right.
Right? If he put it in there, unless it's a mistake, and that did happen sometimes, I can. All right. So let's, for the whole room, let's experiment. I start from start from bar 17 and really do it in a very committed way. That subito piano. Let's hear what that sounds like. You keep doing what you're doing on the violin. Okay. Good. And then he puts the forte on the second eighth of that. Right. Now, can you do it not doing the piano? And let's hear the difference from the same bar 17. Okay, so what it says to me is it takes away the element of surprise. If you don't do the piano, it takes away, then when you arrive at the G major, it takes away that sudden joy. Now we're back to G major, right? So I would advocate very much that you do, I shouldn't have to advocate that much to do what the composer wrote. I shouldn't have to argue that point too much, but all right. Now, all right, so let's then go from, now here's something so important to me in Haydn, in Mozart. When you have series of running notes, I always, music is a language like words are a language. And if I talk to you like this and I always just had the same tempo and the same inflection and I did never change my voice at all, you'd fall asleep. It'd be incredibly boring. Okay, I would bore myself. So music is the same. Everything is coming, going. Who is it? I think it was Pablo Casals who once said that no two notes in music should be the same dynamic. That's enough to like give you nightmares at night if you actually think about it and strive to do that. But it's a language. Speak it. You know what I mean? And I feel like here when you get to the G major, dum bum bum da 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 da, and same in the violin part. It just feels like you're playing the notes without capturing the spirit of the notes. So can you try that once? So like dum bum bum da 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 dum 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 da da. Go to the top, come back down. You can do either way, dum da 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 dum or dum da 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 dum. Either way, but let's try that once here at what bar is that, 19? Okay, that was better. That was better. Careful with how much pedal you use. Okay, now, why did Haydn, do you think, use these, now I'm forgetting the word, grace notes?
Be funny?
Yes, exactly. So I'm not laughing. So you're going to need to make them very secco, very dry, for them to kind of pop out. And you know what was really nice, what you just did? Here's another great, here, let me sit for 1 minute and demonstrate something. So if I'm, and this is about articulation, is so if I'm going to play Bach. Okay, that's one version I can do. I can do this. So a passage like this, maybe the second time. I don't play this, but so one time you can make it more connected. Oh, whoops. Right? Yeah. Just to really bring sparkle and life to it. Yes. Same tempo, you're slowing down. Okay, that's good. I would like to hear more exchange between da-da-da-dum, 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 da-da-da-dum. Right, you're doing a really good job on those octaves. That's very hard. I'm admiring very much. Now, I love the fact that bar 28 with the subito piano right there, I love that you're respecting it, but I don't think you have license to take such big time. You'd have to suffer more. This is the thing with these subito dynamics, they're inhuman, right? That you're supposed to, especially when you're going from like double forte and then the next bar is pianissimo or something. We shouldn't be able to do that, right? But that's why we have to practice it very much. But what brings the magic to it is if you do it in time, all right? And just be careful when something gets lyrical in bar 22, that section right there, which is so gorgeous, just because it's lyrical doesn't mean it's slower, right? It really, all of this should, you should just as an experiment, as an ensemble, what you should do, and I'm sorry if this sounds criminal, you should play through the movement once with a metronome. Just understand how much you are changing tempo, because you're changing tempos a lot. And I don't think you should be, right? So just once to, go into a padded cell of a rehearsal room and put the metronome on really loud and just check in, all right? So let's just go from bar 27 and do the subito piano like you're doing. It's great. Just don't take the time. Right on 27 is fine. Okay, good. Those two sforzandi in a row, do you have a plan?
Second one with the modal mixture, a little tugging a little closer to the hard string.
Okay, and more or less?
A little more.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, and this happens throughout my life, right? You feel like you're on stage doing so much, and then you'll listen to a recording back of the concert. You're like, what was I thinking? I wasn't doing anything up there. So and what I've learned from that is just as when we're speaking, that the powers of our communication and how we communicate is really, really important. And you need to always think about communicating to every single person in this room or in the hall, right? So sometimes that means really maximizing your intentions. It's beautiful that you have them, but we need to feel them, right? So just, let's see. Go from the subito piano bar, 28. This is suddenly a slower tempo. I see you have written, did you write in here lyrical?
No, that's not.
That's your, not, okay. But that's not a bad comment. But it's, again, are you aware that you just slowed down? Okay. And that was purposeful?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a good reason?
I mean, maybe it's not a good reason, but we just wanted to make this section feel more like calm and a conclusion, almost in, like a goodbye.
Yeah, I love all of that. That has nothing to do with tempo. Right? Let me just try this for 1 second. It really doesn't, truly. We should be able to achieve any emotional content we want within a steady pulse. We all know what it feels like if your heart's racing, or you know, it's not a great feeling, and that's pulse. We feel best when we have a steady pulse, right? That just makes us feel good. So I mean, let's see. So I mean, you can do it without it being slower. What's happening is that when you go here, whoops, good. You guys are turning that little bit into a Mahler symphony there. It's not, it can be in tempo. To me, this is childlike, if anything. This, and Haydn captures childlike like no other composer, right? So, if you guys wouldn't mind just going from bar 34, let's get this connection. You know what? You just came up with that. That was really good. What you just did is okay. So you all stretch the first half of bar 35, then move it. That was a great plan. That worked wonderful. Think sometimes about, you know, there's a reason that we're born with body parts, and especially with the piano. Use your wrist. Da 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 da. I see that you're going da 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 without moving the wrist. So then it's going to be that much harder to shape it. If you just use your wrist, it naturally just shapes the phrase. All right. Do that same thing one more time. Nice. Keep going now. Now, just for fun and for, let's try from bar 42, and just for fun, and this might feel a little gross, do a massive crescendo into the diminished fermata chord. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, is there a reason not to do that? No, I think sometimes I hear, especially, you know, I'm piano obsessed, so I hear pianists will play a Mozart concerto or Haydn sonata and keep everything within this nice, neat little box dynamically, and I've never understood that. I understand Haydn was writing for a very different instrument than what we play on now, but so was Bach, so was Beethoven, but I am of the belief that Haydn and Mozart and Bach, they would have loved the potential of the modern day instrument, right? So, and we're not going to try and pretend that it's not this big, gigantic, gorgeous instrument. Why would we do that, right? So I think you have a crescendo to a forte diminished chord that you're going to sit on for a minute. Like, go for it, right? Okay, you don't have to do it again. All right, now this next section, it's mostly when I want to talk about the bars 50 and 51, because they're so incredibly silly, and we should all in this room have a smile on our face when you're doing that, right? That what's he doing? I mean, he suddenly gets, everything stops and he's just going da-dum, ba-dum, 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 and then way down on the bass. It's utterly silly, right? And I feel like you can do that more. You can enjoy that that more, okay? So I guess let's do the pick up to 44 and we'll get to that spot. Okay, good. Now, I also am obsessed with rests because they matter a lot. And I'm in the end of bar 48 into bar 49. I'm not hearing the full value of the rests in there. And I think they really, really matter for us to be able to hear all the material going on. By the way, this whole passage was really beautiful how you just played it now, because you were allowing more room for their voices to come through. Because again, let's face it, a Haydn piano trio is very largely about the piano, right? And I'm sorry I'm not talking to you more, but you play beautifully. You sound great. But so when there's a moment where it's like all together now, it's good if you let them shine for a couple of bars while they can. All right, so do that one more time. But then the da-da-ba-da-ba. Just try that once for me. I want the second note to be so secco, so short. Try it, see. Okay, now can you do it with less accent? Good, now can you add shape to it? Either going to the bottom or coming away from the bottom. Really nice. Really, I almost think it's hilarious because you can almost think about it that, let me sit for 1 second, that he's almost giving you a moment of hope that it's going somewhere. Nope, just kidding. Right? Yeah. And so, but you can maximize that a little bit. Even with your body language, not in some kind of imposing way, but just you're very confident that it's doing something. And then don't move. Then, right? Okay. Because again, of any composer, Haydn's sense and use of humor is just so exhilarating and so amazing. All right, so just, we can keep going on from here. I want the A flat major to be more shocking. So do your 2 bars of your silliness. Good, and for me, this time, can you, again, you're doing, it's very, very elegant. So it's hard for me to criticize it, but I'm going to. The dum, bum, 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 go to the top. Don't shy away. Now even more. Yes. Now big long line here. Keep the line going. Okay. Have to ask, what are you doing with the pedal right here? Because of that A in the left hand, you think you can leave the pedal down? No, honestly, what are you thinking? Oh, sorry.
Well, just in the kind of expansive, like minor harmony, I was using it more for color and for resonance and playing less articulate in the 16 notes.
The problem for me is that then first of all, it's getting muddy. I don't like any muddiness in Haydn. What Haydn does is he puts in the left hand an A and makes it a half note tied into a whole note, then in the next bar another whole note low A. So that note's supposed to be sustaining through all of the 16th notes that are on top of it, right? So that's challenging. But I don't, you can make a darker color. a more mysterious color without using so much pedal. Okay. I didn't understand. There's only one. Do you know the C major sonata? Yeah. So you know this one spot where Haydn literally twice in the sonata he marks that he wants a pedal, and it's in the big C major sonata. He gets to a spot where it's in this completely bizarre, distant key of A flat, and he marks, put the pedal down. And when you think about it, in Haydn's day, the pedal would not have sustained it quite that much. It would have been a shallower, the modern day piano, the pedal. Does anybody want to guess how many depressions of the pedal there are? Oh, nice, but no. 256. Yeah, and I know that just because Yamaha Disc Clavier has really analyzed it, and that's what they... So anyway, in Haydn's day, it wouldn't have sounded like this. That doesn't sound very good. It would have been a much shallower pedal, so that's what I was trying to achieve. That's even too much still. And so I wiggle it a little bit. But again, with this spot here, I'm just wondering, and then we have to stop, I know. I'd probably try and capture it with the middle, right? Then no problem. That, the middle pedal just sustains one note at a time, or however many notes it'll sustain 3 at a time if you want. But if you capture that with the with the middle pedal, and you hear it, that just goes right through. And this way you can still, I don't ever find a good justification for letting it get muddy. All right, only other comment I want to make to you all is just, there was one place you scared me with a chord, and I don't want you to do that. Bar 70, I know it's a subito, the second half of the bar, subito double forte, but it sounded like you hated the chord, and I don't think you do. So it needs to be, it's hard to do that, I understand, but it needs to be big and fat, but not angry, right? Okay. Wonderful, joyful playing. I really loved hearing you. Thank you so much. Thank you.